New Year's Day, and this will come as absolutely no surprise to anyone that really knows me, I try and make a point of going to the cinema. The first part of the year is a bit random in terms of what's available. You've still got the Christmas releases still on, because some of them have only just come out the week before. In this case, the biggest kind of tentpole movie was Mary Poppins Returns. But there's normally something which is released on New Year's Day. And this year in the UK there were two. There was Welcome to Marwen, which as of right now I've not seen yet. And there's The Favourite, which is the new film by Yorgos Lanthimos. The Favourite, I knew nothing about it until about a month ago, so about a month before release. It stars Olivia Colman as Queen Anne, so it's a historical drama, but it's a black comedy, and Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone. And from the trailer, which I saw twice, I think, it looked interesting. It looked funny, it looked quirky, but what really came through in the trailer, which is quite unusual, is that the relationships between the three characters seem to be really strong. And so I was interested in seeing it. What's interesting about the Favourite is that it's you would pin it as a historical drama, but it's definitely a comedy as well. But it's very much black comedy, so kind of laughing at death, laughing at misfortune, that sort of thing. I would say, if you had to rank it in order, it's really Emma Stone's film, followed by Olivia Colman, and Olivia Colman is worth watching in anything, so that it's pretty much a no-brainer to go and see her, especially when she's Queen Anne. And then Rachel Weisz is sort of her Queen Anne's kind of most trusted confidant, I suppose. And they're quite happy in their world, and Emma Stone turns up, and through a series of events she ends up playing against Rachel Weisz for the attention of Queen Anne. One of the things that I wasn't sure about from the trailer was the framing. Immediately apparent in The Favourite is how it's filmed. Most films have a focal length which kind of, it's designed to not distract you from what's going on. Broadly speaking, a kind of a 30mm lens, if you look at it from the side, it's going to be relatively flat. So the lens that you look at will have a slight curve to it, as all lenses do, but it won't be that pronounced. This is a 14mm lens. Can you see how bulbous that is? And so we're talking about 6mm in The Favourite. So if you imagine, that's how distorted the image is. That kind of that curve, and it's going to be doubly so in the lenses in The Favourite. You can see a lot of the room. You can see nearly all the room. Try and think how often in a movie you can see the ceiling. It's just not that common. Part of that is because of this very wide lens, and also part of it is because the camera is almost down on the floor. It's kind of knee height, so you're looking at things, you're looking up at everyone throughout the entire film, which is just not usual. So what I'm going to do now is to take you outside. I'm going to show you how some of the visual elements of The Favourite work, and how you would normally expect to see them in a film of this type. So your basic conversation in a film might be filmed with what's called the shot reverse shot. So if you imagine I'm talking to you, but you are the other character in this scene, and there's this side and there's this side, and what happens is that you would follow what's called the 180-degree rule, and you would only put shots on one side of us, and in both shots the camera is kind of on this side, so it just makes it look like you're cutting between. It's like you're a third or a fourth person watching the conversation. It feels very natural. It's not very spectacular, but it does its job. But The Favourite is more likely to do this: very low to the ground, looking up, wide angle lens, conversation with both people in the shot at the same time. So one might be here, and the other one over here. I said from the trailer, it looks like a film where the relationships seem genuine, and that is absolutely true of the film. That's probably the most interesting part of the film is that all of the relationships are really believable. All the characters feel quite real, even though some of the things they're saying and some of the actions they're taking are very flippant. It feels very genuine. The film's quite episodic, by which I mean that it's got clear movements in the story, and that is reinforced by the use of on-screen captions. Now, on-screen captions, I'm not a big fan of them. They are used by some really good filmmakers and some really lazy filmmakers who are trying to force in meaning to their films. I don't know how many there were in The Favourite, but they're actually because they're just black captions with one or two sentences on them, and they reminded me a little bit of the captions for the scenes in Frasier, the sitcom, which sort of summarise the scene that you're about to watch without using dialogue from the scene that you're about to watch. In summary, I'd have to say that it's funny, it's very well acted, it's clever, it's well directed, it's interesting to look at, it does make you think, and that's pretty much what I want from my New Year's Day cinema trip. So, really good one.